Start the video recording. Okay. Once again, good evening, everyone. Right, we shall start our session right now. Okay, thank you for being here. And just allow me to carry on with the presentation and give me a bit of time to open up my PowerPoint before I begin. Yeah, I hope everybody. Okay, this time I have done my recording, so I hope you're able to see my slides. Right, good. Okay, once again, good evening to everybody. Thank you for your time for being here for this round. It's actually an English session, continue from the last topic that we discussed, especially focusing on this topic called solid hydrogen. Okay, just before I begin, I want to address the last session was done by Simon Ng, who's actually the inventor of solid hydrogen. So what I'm doing right now in this session, I basically interpret, and of course, I'm converting most of the slides for your further understanding, especially in the English. English. Okay, so without further ado, just allow me to introduce myself for people who just get to know who I am. My name is SK Tan. I'm very much focused onto the brain and mind management. And my challenge is always see how can we do things from the brain perspective. Even I do a lot of innovation and so forth. But one of the way for you to remember my name, okay, is like when I introduce my person as SK Tan, I hope that you can remember me, SK equal to Suka Kawan. When I deal with kids, they will call me Suka Kachao. Of course, for the ladies who are familiar with a very popular cosmetic product in Japan, there is one brand called SK2. Okay, I would use my SK into different application mode and so forth. Now, for people who have known me for more than a year, I actually used to be in IT, and eventually I actually suffered when I started my entrepreneurship, even my enterprises. I used to be a workaholic until the stage whereby I suffer from health challenges. Eventually, I switched from the Western philosophy into Eastern, where I start recuperating my health, and that's where it enlightened me to go into a different approach, namely called it's like simple living, high thinking. Now, just to dig further, okay, like I say, I'm a brain applicator. So anything I do it from the perspective of like, how can I appreciate from the brain points of view? And also, I'm also emphasizing on re-innovation, especially in 21st century, in 2022 right now, we need to see how we can re-innovate all the things we have learned together. I personally a life coach focusing on learning and wellness, and I'm also certified by the government as a Shadi Corp. I particularly love about green and nanotechnology, or especially on the green. So one of the area of my forte, not expert, but forte is actually on the microbes. How not only talk about restoring the health, but also lately I'm starting to talk about how can we use a microbe to restore the Mother Earth, especially on the soil perspective. If you were to go and research from the World Health Organization, they really make announcement that the farmable soil on the Mother Earth only left with 60 years. This is the reason why we are suffering from global warming. You look at all the disaster have been happening, it's all really because we didn't take care of our mother soil. Of course, I love education, I love to do training, and I always share from the perspective of brain and mind. Okay, as a health educator, whereby I've been promoting lately for the last 1.5 years, I emphasize on there are many ways to help ourselves to restore our health without getting the help or the assistance from the medical industry. We can just use a natural approach to restore our health. And of course, it has to be integrated with the technology in view of people are now getting more stress, less time, less prone to into what they call activity-based. They like to refer more into the convenience. So I also developed a methodology called SEEDS, whereby focusing on sleep, eat, exercising, drink a lot of good water, structure support, and supplements. Okay. So here, therefore, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm a health educator. I'm not what I call a practitioner, a certified practitioner. Whatever I share is purely because of some invention I did and the way I restore my health and basis on natural approach. No harmful substance, no synthetic medication whatsoever. Purely on what I call natural food. That's why I call it technopathy, technology plus the naturopath. Okay, so let's go into the topic whereby today we're touching on to the solid hydrogen. It's actually the future health solution that people must seriously look into. In fact, just hydrogen alone, you can also refer back to some of the sharing that I did. you can just go to molecularhydrogeninstitute.com. There are more than 1,140 articles or paper that have been published telling people that the future is all about hydrogen. Even the field about clean energy, we have to focus a lot of hydrogen because our earth are covered by 70% water, inclusive the sea. Our body is 70% water. Our brain alone is 80% water. So water is always much appreciated, but we have to see how we can appreciate even further by extracting the water, turn into hydrogen, that become a health therapy and so forth. But before I start, we must understand medical terms. There are so many. There are more than 200,000 to 400,000 names have been published on the internet or even through the doctor industry or in the medical industry. They'll tell you there are many terminology or medical terms that have been used. But I can only tell you there's only one source. All diseases are caused by one source, which is actually the formation of free radical. Free radical is just as simple as for your understanding. It's like I eat my food. Okay, I eat my food simply because I need to have energy extracted from the food to give my bodies the cell and the organ to have the fuel for us to carry on with our activities. In fact, it's actually daily activities. But subsequently, whatever I consume, it needs to be released out from our body system as well. It can be through breathing, it can be through sweating, it can be through urination, it can be through pus motion. So therefore, all these waste should not be kept inside the body. Otherwise, there will be negative consequences. But again, the challenge is actually right now is that when we eat too much, when this garbage, this toxin, or we call it free radical, are not being released, it will cause a lot of health issues into our body. Okay, and primarily the major cause is more onto the DNA damage. I mean, it will start damaging our what they call the DNA. But you see, the surrounding, we are surrounded by UV light, by the air pollution, by radioactive substance, especially recently. Now we are getting more popular or more indulge ourselves into like Wi-Fi, 5G, 4G. These are the cost of affecting our powerhouse called mitochondria. And then all these mitochondria, upon they are able to get affected, their engine cannot produce the kind of energy that we desire. So therefore, we actually getting sicker and sicker. Now, to go into even about what they call physics, free radicals are basically just an unstable cell. It is not stable. Therefore, in order to stabilize the cell, you need to attract the atom, electron, the proton, right? You need to attract one of the cells that's unstable from a normal cell. And because of this, it will gradually cause us to become deteriorated. Let's put onto a living object like apple, for example. We have seen many apple, they are very, let's say, for example, green apple. When they ripe, they start to become red. But when this red, the oxidation, that means the antioxidant function relinquish. That means or actually they slow down. And in fact, when they're attacked by the free radical, they start to get rotten. And this is what we call oxidative stress. Okay. So again, I want to remind everybody, free radical is no joke. We don't see it in a small amount, but when it gradually increases, this is where it leads into what they call disease. And the more severe ones are getting more and more popular. It's actually called cancerous cell. Now, lately, there's a report, especially in America. They start announcing that, okay, currently there are more than 40% people on Earth are suffering from cancer. But amazingly, it will go exponentially. By 2030, 90% of the people on Earth are all cancer patients or cancer people, all due because of this free radical attack. And the only way for us to be able to neutralize it is to have antioxidant. What is antioxidant? If I look into general, I always encourage people, take more vegetable, take more fruits, because they are highly content in antioxidant as compared to meat. Well, not that against to eat meat, but I will encourage you go with 1 bite of meat accompanied with 4 bites of vegetable, because what you seriously need is an antioxidant to neutralize this free radical. Okay, antioxidant, it can help to seriously reduce a lot of free radical, especially when you know how to eat it right. Because all you need to do, just remind yourself, antioxidant is just like having a surplus of bodyguard to be able to protect our body cell, our body organ against from the attack from the free radical. Because when the free radical, they are unstable, they have no choice but to extract or to grab or to steal the electron, okay, electron from the normal cell. That's where it causes more cell become uncontrollable. We call it Magellan cell. Please understand that. So this is why we are sharing about the solid hydrogen, because solid hydrogen is actually a new term. They're named by Uncle Simon or Teacher Simon. Simon is an inventor. Okay, I've known him for more than 22 years. Okay, from the day I've been following through whatever he does, because technically he saved my life. He also my teacher, who actually give me a lot of knowledge about alkalinity, about water machine, and so forth. Because when I started to restore my health, I started to understand more about water. Of course, with blessing, I read a book called Anti-Aging, okay, by Sheng Wang. Sheng Wang gave me the enlightenment. That's why I start sourcing. It took me 9 months to start looking for one decent machine that able to restore my health. And that's where I get to know Teacher Simon or Simon Ng. Okay, and he had been starting with negative ion, then slowly go into antioxidant. Eventually, he start exploring solid hydrogen. He had been researching for solid hydrogen for more than 10 years. But what's so unique about this solid hydrogen is not ordinary hydrogen. Everybody knew that when I share about hydrogen, we know that in the periodic table, it's actually ranking #1 on the upper left. And it's actually gas-based, very small molecule, is widely available because you can just take it from the water. But unfortunately, because it's gas, therefore it cannot retain itself for too long. It has to vanish or vaporize into the air in a very short period of time. So that's the reason why, despite hydrogen is very good for inhaling, for consumption, and so forth, unfortunately, it cannot sustain for long because it need to like through catalyst to be able to bond with something else and make itself disappear, or you get to be bonded with something else. So it cannot last for too long because it's really gas-based. With blessing, Simon actually developed this H2Magic. What's so unique about this H2Magic is that by understanding a lot of research, okay, by the way, just to share with you, Simon is actually professionally by profession was actually an electrical engineer. He used to do a lot of electrical appliances. With the vast knowledge because of the family doing, because of the children suffering from health, he started to research about alkaline machine, water machine. Eventually from there, that's a challenge. You know that alkaline machine is good, but cannot be portable. That is where he started inventing or exploring how can he make it a portable liquid that's actually concentrated, can be dropped into any liquid form, can be coffee, can be tea, can be soup, can be even water for consumption. That's where he developed this H2Magic. H2Magic is actually comprises of two components. Of course, you need to start with the basic of water, but eventually it needs to be blended with what they call alkali mineral in a nano form. And especially you can see that there are two major elements inside this particular hydrogen, H2Magic, zinc and sodium. Okay, these are the nano alkali ion mineral. They're able to reside in the water for a long period of time. As long as there's no attack by free radical, nothing will happen. That's why when you use a genuine hydrogen meter or tester to test it out, you couldn't find anything at all until you start to attack it or you feed the water with what they call free radical. Meaning to say, nothing will happen as long as I don't have free radical in my body. But upon I start drinking it and there's a free radical attack, all this bodyguard will show up and able to actually against the free radical attack. What they do is very simple. They just donate their body. It's like they sacrifice themselves to go against the free radical so that they turn into the byproduct called water. And all these cells and organs are safeguarded. That means nothing will happen to them. Okay, the best part, not only this hydrogen is superior, more importantly, it can withstand any hot and cold environment. And the temperature can go as low as -20 Celsius. That means you can even place it inside the freezer. That's what I normally do. And there's a reason why we can promise you H2Magic can last practically with no expiry date. As long as you don't open the cap rigorously, it's like, okay, you keep opening exposed to the air. Because you must understand, 80% of the air comprises of mist, which is actually the water. And they have a lot of what they call free radical or negative, or okay, to be exact, it's actually called acidic substance. They're able to combine with the H2 and actually deteriorating or even neutralizing the acid antioxidant. So therefore, please note, if you do not put them in use, you can actually put them inside the freezer. Now, can you put it in the hot water? Yes, because it can be hold up to 100 Celsius. We typically like to, it's a few drops into the soup or any hot water, or even in the cold, it doesn't matter, as long as there's a need for you to consume the H2 inside the liquid. Now, let me give an example. I've been allowing my daughter to drink the H2 since the baby time. The moment she started going to the school, I used to let her carry about 1 liter of water water bottle in the tumbler for her to consume. Of course, at home, we give them the drops. But when there's a need to, because they have been consuming, like finish up the 1 liter, I'll encourage you to go and buy the mineral bottle from the canteen. But sometimes she couldn't even obtain any mineral bottle from the canteen. Therefore, I will encourage you to take the water from the tap water. But we want conditions that drop as many drops of the H2 inside the liquid, because at least the fundamentals that you might not be directly benefit as much as you can from the water, but at least you keep the water safe. I mean, you really neutralize all the heavy metal, all the bacteria, the pathogen, or even the residue inside the water. So it's to guarantee that every drop of the water that go into your mouth, they are safe. Okay. Well, when nothing happens, it just functions like a normal cell. Okay, I'm referring to SKMagic. So it does carry 2 charges. One is a positive charges, and the other one is negative charges. They always strike in balance. But it's only upon, okay, balance means called homeostasis. I mean, they're always in balance. Upon only when they're attacked by free radical, then they start to do their job. So it depends on whatever needed, they'll just neutralize it. So it actually functions just like a cell. Okay, H2 ion technology, the fundamental is that what's so great about SKMagic, it can remove free radical. That's a fundamental. Okay, and secondly, it also form a catalyst for enzyme function. That means to say it will actually help to amplify your digestion. Sometimes the enzyme can be appreciated by the hormone. So whatever it does, the fundamental is to keep on making the body healthy and healthy. Okay, and secondly, it also have a very small molecule structure whereby it can easily penetrate to the cell. You see, by nature, hydrogen can penetrate to anything. Of course, you start to ask me, why hydrogen? Why can't go for vitamin C? Please note, vitamin C is good, but vitamin C, you have to go for high dosage, then only become functional. Ours is different. You just have the 1 drop, it function as, it's like many time potency, or even the efficacy is much bigger, much stronger compared to vitamin C. The second challenge is that vitamin C is good as an antioxidant, but there's one problem. It couldn't penetrate into the protein, okay, whereas hydrogen can go everywhere. Okay, of course, the next one, actually, there is no side effect upon their being neutralized. For example, like, okay, let's say H2, the H2 was meant to neutralize the free radical. So the outcome of the neutralization is that it ensures that there's no harmful substance inside the body, nor it will keep any byproduct with any other substance other than water. So it actually is a superior for anti-inflammatory function, and therefore will increase our immunity. It boosts our immunity. Here, I just want to give you an analogy, because at the end of the day, it's all about the waste inside the body. But I would like to term it into called solid acid. But the actual name to be addressed is called acidosis, which I put into bracket. Now, what is acidosis? You see, naturally, our body not supposed to keep any garbage inside the body. But unfortunately, because of the input, we can be overdoing it, or we could have taken the wrong food or even the liquid into our mouth. Therefore, it starts to build up a lot of garbage inside the body. And this actually, like I say, the garbage is equivalent to the free radical. But sometimes the body do not have enough resources or do not have enough energy to be able to push out all this garbage from the body. So temporarily, they have to do something about it to reside inside the body. So I like to use the analogy as to, like, you imagine that your body is just like a country, okay? And the country are governed by the government. This government is equivalent to all our parts of our body. Okay, technically we have 11 organs inside the body. So they're actually representing our government because they have their own job function. For example, the bone is actually for us to have a body structure. At the same time, bone marrow to produce the blood. But this blood must be cleansed by the liver, must be cleansed by the kidney. At the same time, all the waste eventually have to be thrown through, can be passed out through our large intestine and so forth. So we need all these organs to function accordingly. And there are about 11 organs inside our body representing our government. So they are governing the function. Now the cell. What does a cell do? Cell is basically it's actually a formation to construct our organ. Okay, some of the cells, they will work independent by themselves. Okay, for example, you want to have a heart, you must have a heart cell. If you want to have a liver, you must have a liver cell. And they're representing the people. Okay, the people. Now, please understand, in and under normal circumstances, in the country, we have the state, we have the city, we have the suburban area, and so forth. Every part of the people always create garbage. Like it or not, we do, right? It just matter about the volume. Same goes to the cell. Yep. As far as the blood carries the nutrients to the cell, but the cell also need to excrete some of the waste, and these waste are called garbage. So therefore, it all depends on how much waste are being collected. By right, our blood, when they're transporting the nutrients to the cell secrete the waste. The waste must be transported again by the blood to go to other part of the organ, especially going through the heart to go to the elimination system. Unfortunately, when your excess of this, I mean the volume of the garbage is exorbitant, it's too much, it's like heaps of. So they couldn't actually go and settle in time. So what shall we do? If you go to the live scenario, the government will have no choice but to actually compress this garbage into a cube form. So this cube form, with intention, there are three ways to go about it. Put into the minefield, landfill, or it can be burned, incinerated, go to the incinerator and go and burn it. So you have to put into a cube form because easy for transportation. That's exactly how our body does. Our body also carry the wisdom, carry the intelligence. So temporary, instead of going to all the elimination system, which couldn't be done in time, then they have no choice but to compress it into a cube and place it in their respective location. And this is where we have developed the name called high blood pressure, then high blood sugar, then high fat, and so forth. These are basically what we are addressing as acidosis. So acidosis is only a name for you to understand. These are only temporary to be reside in the body. As long as we continue drinking the what they call antioxidant liquid or powerful food, they're able to increase our energy. Eventually, all this acidosis or solid acid will be eliminated. It's just a matter of how do we take care of our body. Now, therefore, I need to understand the terminology used in what they call medical term, oxidation or versus the reduction. Now, what does the oxidation do? Oxidation means actually means that the oxygen is oxidizing our hydrogen. Well, we can't live without oxygen. But sometimes when we have excess oxygen that not being utilized, they will oxidize our cell. That's why it actually start to oxidize our cell to become deteriorated. Okay. Now, if you want to go even further or in depth, you can understand that we know that water is formed by H2, 2H and 1O. But the way they're being formed is actually called H2 plus the O2 plus the O. They need to do different things. Now, what hydrogen do? Hydrogen is to reduce the oxygen. It means that it's suppressing the oxygen so that they can always help to go into the balance. So to put it even into a more straightforward explanation, right? Hydrogen, molecular hydrogen reduces the oxidative stress, meaning to say it will actually reduce inflammation, let our body function like normal. But like I say, whatever formation they are combining, eventually they will turn into water. So you just have to understand the choice. Oxidation came from the oxygen, reduction always done by the hydrogen. So that's the reason why Simon developed this H2 is with intention to help it to eliminate all the oxidative stress inside the body, eventually help it to reduce the inflammation significantly. Okay, again, oxidation versus reduction. Now, to give you a clear picture, we have done a different tests. You could have done this test on your own, right? Especially focusing on iron nail. We know that when I throw an iron nail into the water, eventually over time they will become oxidized. And the name to apply on this rust, this oxidization is called rust, because the oxygen oxidize this particular surface of the iron and turn into a different form. We call it the rust. But if you go for hydrogen, especially you start with the gas base, temporarily you don't see any rusting onto the iron, but over time they will start to rust simply because the gas has vaporized, it has been gone. But if you do the test on solid hydrogen, which is actually referring to the on the right hand side, the solid hydrogen, when you drip one drop inside the water and you actually throw the nail inside, for a long time, you can hardly see anything happen, because at all time, this solid hydrogen will start protecting the iron, just like supplying surplus of bodyguard to against the invasion of the oxidization, which is actually referring to the free radical. So if I were to throw, let's say, an apple, okay, apple by nature, when you cut open, you see that their flesh is white in color. But over time, when they're overly exposed to the air, because they are using their own antioxidant to against the invasion of the free radical or the oxidization. but eventually they'll turn into brown. It's the same like because oxygen actually have to chew all their energy. It's like the free radical need to attract or steal the electron from the normal cell. So they will become brownish, eventually they turn dark. And whereas you go to hydrogen with the gas phase, yes, for a while you can see they are actually in white color, but probably over a period of like half an hour, 1 hour later, you see they also turn it into brownish. Whereas if you soak inside the what they call the water filled with solid hydrogen, you always retain the freshness. Now you can do this experiment. You can do this experiment on your own. Let's say you go and blend some juices, especially apple. We know that green apple, once blended, you don't take care of it or you don't drink it immediately, within 30 minutes, they'll be oxidized. How do you know that? Because they turn into brownish color. So one of the ways you can experiment is to actually go and drop 1 drop hydrogen, solid hydrogen, and see what happens. You will see that it can last almost a day or so, even 48 hours. If you as long as you can have it properly covered. Okay, as long as you can have it properly covered, so they will be well protected. Okay. So to conclude, to share with you, anyone who drinks solid hydrogen liquid, okay, it has to be into a liquid form. What it does actually is that it will combine with the free radical attack. Like I say, you take it solid hydrogen as an abundant of bodyguard at all time, protecting the cell, protecting the organ. When there's an attack by the free radical, you will actually just go and sacrifice yourself and combine with the free radical. That means it's like sacrificing myself to go and bond with you. It's like I'm actually going to bond with you. And the byproduct that produced, it will just turn into water. And after the water, if your body is dehydrated, so what it does, it will appreciate this water. But when you have excess of water that do not need to be used, then what will happen? You'll just be discharged. Through what? Through your skin, through your breathing, through your urination, fast motion, and so forth. So to conclude, let's compare the free radical and the solid hydrogen. So if you were to have constant attack by the free radicals, it actually indicate that you're going to have early aging, right? You're going to have a disease produced, okay? And we call it acidosis, and you always feel lethargic all the time. If you to continue drinking hydrogen, and the first priority when the energy boosted up, what it does is to clear away all this acidosis, or it actually clear away is like avoiding the free radical attack further. So your body will start to restore. You become more youthful, and your immunity will go up. Now, to conclude, in the water, we need 2 forms. Of course, water by itself. Second one will be the mineral. Okay, of course, this mineral, to be able to neutralize each other, you need to have the alkaline mineral and as well as the acidic mineral. So both have to be concurrently exist, right? And water itself is what? It's just a formation of H2 and 1 O. Okay, by natural, if you go for any ordinary water, there's no particular function until they are being absorbed. That means that you go through your mouth, through your esophagus, go to the stomach, and this water in normal, when referring to normal water, for them to be activated or appreciated, for them to be become functional, the body, the stomach have to digest them, only able to turn into what the water, the liquid appreciated by the body in 20 minutes time. Very solid hydrogen, it works otherwise. The moment you drop inside the water, they already turn into a form whereby immediately appreciated by the cell. Meaning to say, this solid hydrogen water, the moment you put into your mouth, your cells start to absorb them rather than they need to be digested. Now, imagine this. Imagine how much time you save not to exert your energy from your body to go and digest it. It's like spontaneously or instantly, the moment I drop my hydrogen water inside the solid hydrogen into the water, and I drink the water, my cells start to absorb it. That's why there's a tendency, some people will start complaining, there's something wrong with your solid hydrogen, because there's a frequency that I need to visit the loop very, very often. I say it's normal because you don't have to digest that. You don't have to digest the water anymore. Please understand, typical tap water, even filter water, I repeat, tap water and filter water, for them to be able to turn into a liquid that appreciated by the cell or by the body, it needs the stomach to digest for minimum 20 minutes. You can't say that the moment I drink water, then I will actually reduce my thirst, or I can actually start absorbing by the cell. No, not at all. It's 20 minutes. It's already proven by Japanese scientists whereby all tap water that drunk into your mouth, through your esophagus, to the stomach, it takes minimum 20 minutes to be digested. then turn into a form that appreciated by the body cell. Solid hydrogen, it did otherwise. You put it in the water, you drink it, your body cells start to absorb it. But again, it will not only give you the good water, it also give you the mineral that ionize. Get ready to go into the battle to fight against the free radical. So just to let you know, water, okay, to restore, you need OH negative, because this is all about charges. Like I said, everything that's ionized, there's a potential for our body to become normal. It's only about negative form or positive form. If you want to oxidize your body, you just have to take H2, H plus. When you want to restore, is OH negative. This is actually a chemical compound that proven by the chemistry. Okay, but again, body always appreciate the alkaline mineral, not the acidic mineral. Acidic mineral is always being pushed out because they are not appreciated by the body. We need alkaline, just like our bone. Our bone need to be in alkaline environment. That's the reason why you have to take calcium plus. And of course, hydrogen is meant to restore. You just have to remember this. We need oxygen, but we don't need our oxygen to oxidize our body. We need hydrogen. Okay. So whenever there's nothing to be done, they will be neutral. Let's just as I indicated, solid hydrogen by nature, it is normal function, it's under homeostasis. Nothing happened until they are being attacked. Our body is being attacked by the free radical. Okay. Therefore, please note, if given a choice, if you want to be super healthy, consider you want to optimize the function of the solid hydrogen. We always recommend that you actually drink high ionized water. And please note, not alkaline water, ionized water. Ionized water with high alkaline content. Okay. And because when this alkaline water is actually abundant inside and then blended with the alkaline function, that means with the hydrogen, solid hydrogen, you are able to naturally and easily neutralize the acidosis of the body. It becomes very natural and easy. So normal cell, nothing happened. They only start to deteriorate until they're attacked by the free radical. And that's where the cell become rotten or become dysfunctional or deteriorated because of oxidative stress. So this is really because the free radical is unstable. You need to go and steal the electron from the normal cell. And that's when normal cell, when they start losing the electron, they become abnormal or unstable. This is where they'll gear into what they call Mendelian cell. Mendelian cell is another name to term it. It's called cancerous cell. That's why there's a report indicated by 2030, more than 90% people on Earth will be suffering from cancer. So what we do, like I said, we talk about super antioxidant. Our solid hydrogen is not just an antioxidant, it's a super antioxidant. We have demonstrated many times whereby just by one drop, it can neutralize 60 to 80 drops of the betadine, or we call it iodine. Iodine is a form, it's actually like an analogy or representation of the free radical. But if you go for any ordinary hydrogen, it can be hydrogen water, it can be a machine that produces hydrogen. They can't even perform as good as what we can do in solid hydrogen. Why? At all times, there'll be abundance of this bodyguard preparing to sacrifice themselves to go and neutralize all these free radical. That's why you eventually, the more you consume hydrogen, the younger you become. Okay, so the key is to protect our cell and organ at all times for the cell to function normally until the end of their life. Okay, so just to indicate how people measure it is about your pH, acidity, and alkalinity. Our body, to reach up to optimal level, you can look at the center, pH 7.365. This is something I always emphasize, that you want at the optimal level, maintain your blood, your pH of your blood at 7.365. 1 week, 7 days, 1 year, 365 days. You don't want to go beyond, you want to go under. But unfortunately, there's a lot of food that we have taken. It's actually causing acidosis. That means make our cell to be acidic. Now, just imagine there's a measurement done by Japanese. A healthy person, even you don't want to talk about optimal level at 7.365, you need to retain yourself in the range of 7.35 to 7.45. That's categorized as healthy people or healthy person. But whereas World Health Organization have announced more than 80% people on Earth are considered sub-health because we are 7.5 and below. Sub-health means you're at the borderline, neither you're healthy nor you're sick. If really sick, become a sick person, then it will already range about 7. You can't go lower than 7. Please understand this. Body at all times must always maintain the blood at 7.35. And how they maintain it? By right, they're supposed to use other mineral to regulate it. meaning to say that you're supposed to have a calcium bank. Calcium bank, suppose like, let's say your blood is become acidic, you release a calcium for them to neutralize it. You come to a stage whereby my calcium bank already exhausted out, no more. So what it does, go and start taking your calcium from the bone. Okay, and there's a reason why you see there's a lot of people suffering from bone issue, osteoporosis, osteopenia, or even osteoarthritis and so forth. That's due because your blood is getting more and more acidic. Until a stage whereby when it lead to cancer, when Japanese start doing the measurement, you're at the range of 6.85 to 6.95. Vegetative person, vegetable person is 6.9. When we are facing death or end of life, you'll be reach out to the 6.8. So please understand this is actually what we do. And then you look carefully on the lower right. Mineral bottle always at 7.2. Tap water 7. Right? And what we need, preferably we go for alkali ionized water. Even if you go, a lot of people say, hey, cannot take 11.5. I just want to share with everybody our solid hydrogen, be it the alkali, what they call this calcium plus, or the SKMagic is all above 12.5. There's a reason when people attempt to drink this water, they always have the urge of like, hey, how come I feel bitterness? I feel the pungent smell. This is due because of the high alkalinity. Okay. Finally, if you want to restore your body, okay, the ontology is actually hydrogen. That's the key. Of course, here we are educating you to understand how powerful our solid hydrogen is. But you do encounter like hydrogen in the gas form, hydrogen in the water form. Yes. What do? They primarily do three things: neutralizing the free radical, and also to suppress on, and it's like anti-inflammatory to reduce the inflammation, and of course to improve your immunity. But our solution is a bit different. We focus on solid hydrogen, whereby it can last longer and also more potent as compared to ordinary hydrogen. So the key is actually to be able to do many things. You just have to treat H2 like an internal body cleanser. It's like, of course, the criteria is that you need a lot of water to be blended in, to be able to flush out all the acidosis, or to clean your body from become normal. And finally, we have done many tests. Okay, in fact, one of my students subscribed to this solution and applied into one ML company, and they have done more than 1,000 case studies. Okay, effective of June 2021. Okay, this is actually the feedback from my student after his client. Majority of client are combination of Indian, Malay, and Chinese. These are the list of the challenges. I don't call it disease. Okay, like severe gastric, skin allergy, constipation, drop in sugar level, tumor growth on the dog knee, back pain, sugar reducers, and menstrual issue, and so forth. These are all can be addressed. Okay, I just want to share that this is what what I call the superior invention done by Uncle Simon or Teacher Simon. Okay, for now, I'll share as of now. The rest of the time we'll put into the Q&A. If you have any question, any doubts, we'll go into the next part. Okay, just allow me to disable my slide first. Okay, we can now proceed to the questions. If you do have any questions, now, okay, there are a few ways to go about this question Q&A. Choice number one, you can type everything into the chat box. Second thing, of course, you want to save time, you can always go into the just open the mic and start interact from there. Of course, alternatively, you can open your what I call the video if you like to. So I'm open up for questions if there's any.
Yes, I have one.
Yes, please.
Can I ask?
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
I'm Jasmine.
Jasmine, yes, hi.
Yes. Based on your explanation,
yeah,
this function of this hydrogen is to combine to like go into our body and then combine with the excess oxygen.
Okay. What it does is that you dissolve into the liquid, which are preferably the water.
Okay.
And by drinking a lot of water, this water, you see, please understand, every single drop of the blood comprises of 90% water content.
Comprise one
drop of blood. Always remember this. What's the purpose of blood? The blood. One drop of blood comprises of 90% water content. 90%, right?
Okay.
Okay. 90% water. Why do we need water? Because our body are made up by 70% water. That one you understand, huh? So there's a reason why when you put solid hydrogen into a liquid form, okay, in the liquid form, you're actually able to furnish a lot of what they call minerals together with the strong hydrogen to be able to neutralize the free radical attack.
That means that means the hydrogen will actually dissolve in the water.
Yes, it will be dissolved in the water, correct.
So the water will contain many hydrogen molecules.
And mineral. Hydrogen and mineral.
And mineral. But it's only hydrogen. How can it also
well, this is a technology lah. This is a technology.
Oh, that means the name is called solid hydrogen, but it actually contains not just hydrogen, but also minerals.
Yes, correct.
Oh.
Zinc and sodium primary. Primary, there are many minerals, but focus is actually more onto the zinc and the sodium.
Okay. It's just the name is called solid hydrogen, but it contains not just hydrogen.
No, it's not just hydrogen. Hydrogen is a major cause of like neutralizing the acidosis and the free radical of the element. It's not pure hydrogen. And that's why we want to clarify solid hydrogen, majority is hydrogen based, because we want to extract the OH negative to combine with the free radical, which is actually under the positive.
OH negative.
Negative, yes.
To combine with
free radical in positive charge.
So this free radical is it positive oxygen molecule with positive charge?
Normally it's O plus. We call it O plus, O positive.
O plus is the free radical.
Yes, correct.
Oh, O plus, is it a result of excessive oxygen in our body?
Yes, you may say so.
Excessive oxygen.
Yes.
That means we have too much of oxygen in our body.
But okay, remember, this oxygen is carrying charges, not just excessive oxygen. It's excessive oxygen with positive charge because they're unstable. So they want to stabilize themselves. They have to go and grab some electron from other cell, normal cell.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You just said, okay. Okay, Jasmine. What you do is actually you just go and study a bit more, like Wikipedia or anybody who talk about what they call this alkalinity or alkaline water. We always emphasize on OH negative and O plus. OH negative is good for our body. O plus is bad for our body.
Okay.
Okay. O plus is a primary the cause. If you look at generic and general, O plus is primarily the cause of cancer cell development.
Okay.
They call it Mendelian cell. Okay,
then how does this OH combine with the O plus become H2O? It's
H2O
only
is water.
One. Yeah, but only
OH negative.
Only one.
OH negative is 1H and 1O.
1H and 1O, and then combine with this one O positive, then it become.
Okay. Sorry, my apology. Let me rephrase. We have OH negative. When we have OH negative, then the other one is H plus. My apology.
No OH plus.
Okay. If 2O cannot. You heard about H2O2?
H2O2. No, I heard of H2O only water.
Okay, I'm sure you heard about the name called hydrogen peroxide. Have you heard about the name called hydrogen peroxide?
No.
Okay. You see, in medical term, if you want to use any liquid to kill any bacteria, even for them to kill the surgery instrument, they have to use hydrogen peroxide. I'm using a lot of hydrogen peroxide, especially during MCO. Okay, hydrogen peroxide is called H2O2.
H2O2.
Yes, hydrogen peroxide is called H2O2, right? But again, they are poison. They are not meant for consumption. It's only meant for external use, like you want to kill your utensils, you want to kill bacteria, right? Then you use a H2O2. Okay, now just now my apology, I make a mistake. Earlier when we talk about H2O, is a water, you know, right?
Yeah.
H2O. But this, when you break it down, one is OH negative, the other one will be H positive. We call the free radical the H positive.
Oh, not O positive.
But there are occasions whereby it can be turned into O positive as well. But we make it general. You just are familiar with OH negative and H positive. Generic. Okay. So what we do is actually, when we refer to free radical, we always refer them to be positive charge, and we need negative charge to neutralize it. It's like I'm supplying the bodyguard. Okay, if you don't like it, I can use another more sexy way to tell you. It's like, it's a pirate, okay, pirate against the beautiful woman. Okay, pirate want to rob not only treasures, they also want to rob the woman. Okay, if instead of they come and rob our woman, why don't I supply them a lot of beautiful women for them not to kacau me? Can you follow the analogy? You see, you must understand, free radical is garbage. When you have a lot of garbage, what do? You have to clear them away, right? Okay, but when you have too much of garbage, what can you do? Like I say, I give you an analogy. Government have no choice but to compress them in cube form, put it aside first, until either they throw inside the landfill or they have to go for incineration. Go and burn them, right? When you have too much. Okay, so the challenge is actually nowadays, you must understand why there are more sick people, because the antioxidant that consume is too little. Example, just I make a very clear picture. We need to take a lot of vegetable and fruits, but unfortunately, people now take more meat than fruits and vegetable. I always use a sample like you go to a you go to a restaurant, you always see that there are more people who order meat than actually the vegetable. It can be 4 plates of meat versus 1 plate of vegetable. But the problem is, even the vegetable is cooked, overcooked. Because when you want your vegetable to be strong with antioxidant, it needs to be less than 37 Celsius with a lot of enzyme and with a lot of fiber. That's another issue. If I were to elaborate further, there are many issues that made by as a mistake made by a lot of human beings. That's why we are getting sicker and sicker. Hey, SK, I eat a lot of vegetable, but you can't overcook your vegetable. You're supposed to eat as many as you can, as many raw vegetable, like salad. Like Malay, they eat ulam, no? Or you eat a lot of fermented food. Fermented food, it can be natto, it can be kimchi, yes, it can be Greek yogurt, it can be what they call this what they call fermented tofu, fermented, anything fermented with a lot of bacteria. That's another replacement of the what they call vegetable, because you need antioxidant. That's the key.
Okay.
All right.
One more question, can I?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, for the pH,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Just now, according to a picture, the healthy pH should be 7.35 to 7.45.
Correct.
Right. So why do we need to drink high alkaline, like the solid hydrogen? You say the pH is actually above 12.
Oh, right. Okay. It was to be 12. It was made to be 12 because, like I say, you please understand. Like I said, World Health Organization already announced more than 80% people on Earth are considered sub-health. That means they are below 7.5, 7.35, right?
Yeah.
So meaning to say their body are filled with a lot of acidosis, a lot of garbage inside the body. So if you are able to supply them with, it's a high concentrated detergent. If I give you higher concentration of detergent to clean your body, or you prefer to go for lower concentrated detergent, you make a choice. It's just a choice to make. Because the challenge is that when you go for pH 12.5 to 12 and above, to some people, they have challenges with the taste. Like I mentioned earlier, some people say, hey, why so bitter? Hey, why so pungent smell? Why so much like fishy smell? Because this is a reaction from your tongue. Please understand, our tongue is interconnected to the organ, especially when you're experimenting with our calcium. When you have bitterness, it's a sign to indicate. Okay, it's a self-diagnosis. It's an indicator that, hey, there's a liver problem. When you have pungent smell, then you have a kidney or the bladder issue that you need to address. Bladder and kidney that you need to address. But I'm not saying that, hey, I'm the doctor to diagnose it. It is a food that you put into your mouth. The tongue is connected to your organ, send a signal to the brain to imply that something wrong with certain part of the organ. You okay? So giving you 12.5, 12 and above is just to be able to give you more hydrogen, OH negative, to neutralize the toxin inside the body. That's what it does.
Wouldn't the high alkaline become like over dosage and make our body over alkaline?
Never. Okay, why I say never? Unless you are coming back from 60 years ago, or you stay in the Virgin Island or Virgin hillside, the mountainside, whereby are severely clean, no contamination. Please understand, contamination is everywhere. Electropollutant, EMF, 3G, 5G, 4G Wi-Fi. You talk about the industrial, okay? You look at the heavy industry, they're producing what? Dioxin, right? Sunlight, ozone broken, UV is killing our skin. Then the food today food are what? Are severely polluted with what? Pesticide, herbicide, right? And you like it or not, I always like to use this as an example. We used to be able to eat 15 eggs a day. 15, 1 5. But you ask doctor, you ask expert, they tell you don't take more than 2 a day. Why? Because last time chick become hen is 100, the maturity is 120 days to 150 days. That means to say that chick become hen is normal growth. So every egg lay is normal egg. But today technology is so advanced, they just have to do a lot of injection to the chick, become hen in 18 days. 1/8, not 120 days, not 150 days. What are they feeding them with? Heavy metal, growth hormone, chemical compound, anything that stimulates hormone growth. And you tell me, can the egg be edible? I don't know. I can't answer you with precise, but I can only tell you it's a fact of life. There are more and more sick people today. I just make an announcement. I read an article. By 2030, more than 90% people on Earth, not your country, not my country, on Earth are going to be cancer patients. Right? Why? Free radical. You should come back to the fundamental. The root cause is we have too much garbage inside the body. Right? If you ask me, can I solve the other solution? Yes, you can consider stem cell. Last Sunday, I just attended one talk, gene therapy, 160,000, and they asked them, what's your guarantee? 30%. Why? 70% should come back to human factor. Gene therapy, cure cancer, but guarantee is 30%. I guarantee you 30%, but 70% come from you as the patient. Right?
But still, I need to clear the doubt because the healthy person is the pH should be 7.35 to 7.4.
Very rare, be very frank to you, very rare. If I were to give you a chance to scan, yes.
Yeah. How can we test our pH? My body pH.
You go and buy litmus paper. You must buy high quality litmus paper. Every morning, what do you do? Every morning, what do you do? Without washing your brushing your teeth, gargle your mouth, put the litmus paper under your tongue. Under your tongue, use a saliva and dip it and go and measure it. That's a fundamental. But of course, good to go for blood check. Go for testing. Okay.
Blood test can test pH of the blood.
Litmus paper. Litmus paper. Go for high quality litmus paper. They give you accurate reading. They will tell you, okay, this is 7.25 or what. They can give you that. Yes.
But the lowest, as I can see, if let's say the pH is 6, is actually a dead person, right?
Yes, correct. Correct.
Yeah, so 6.8. 6.8.
Yeah,
that means our body pH cannot be lower than 6.8.
Your body blood can never go lower than 7. Can never. Right? Like I say, okay, our blood must be maintaining at 7.35 to 7.45. Correct? Correct? How does it do that? Because if I have a lot of acidic stuff inside the body, you still have to be alive. The body will automatically ask you to leach out the calcium from the bone. From the bone, to go and neutralize it. That's why your bone become hollow and hollow. Right? You come to a stage whereby you're suffering from bone illnesses or bone disease. So our blood can never be highly acidic. If we are looking at the body constitution, not the blood per se, the body constitution overall.
So if let's say our pH can never go below 7, you say, then why do we need high doses of alkaline to turn the acidic body?
You just lost calcium from the body. You're losing your resources. You're losing your resources from the body. You lose your calcium. You lose your minerals.
So by inputting this high alkaline substance, we try to help to prevent loss of calcium from the body.
We always go to what I call homeostasis, meaning actually you always balance out the intake versus the output of your body. You maintain your body to be healthy. That's a key. Okay. I'll give you an example. Probably everybody, since you're online, right? Can you do me a favor? Show by a show of by typing 1. If you were to, okay, I want to make it very clear. You type 1. If every day when in the morning when you wake up, your eye open wide awake, you feel lethargic, please type 1. That means you still feel very exhausted, you feel lethargic, I'm still very tired, I still want to sleep. Or the otherwise, you open your wide open your eye, you feel very energetic, you type me 5. Can everybody just do a statistic pool? Then I can tell you whether your body acidic or alkaline. Very simple. The moment every day you wake up, you open your eye and you feel that you're wide awake and you're very energetic, you type 5. Otherwise, you type number 1. That means you feel very lethargic, you feel very sleepy, you don't have enough energy, you cannot concentrate, then you type 1.
Just the eyes are tired.
The eye is dry or tired? Different, you know?
Yeah, eyes are tired.
Eyes are tired also indicate your liver is actually very weak. Not enough blood. 1 and 5.
Huh? No 3. Moderate.
Moderate. I'm referring 1 and 5 only. That's all. Okay, the rest? Okay, good. 5 is good because you're energetic, your eye open, that means you have energy, you can last for the day. But majority of people that I know, right, they have challenges in awake, keep awake. Of course, you don't tell me I sleep late and all this thing. That's why lifestyle is very important. Very good. Okay, thank you for sharing. Now, Jasmine, any more questions?
Oh, that's all. Thank you.
Right, okay. And okay, thank you very much, Jasmine. And thank you for participation. How do you substantiate their claim that H2 magic is natural? You can go and take the whole bottle and see what happened to you. If you get intoxicated, then you die lah. I mean, I'll be frank to you. How do we guarantee it's natural? Because number 1, this one comes from an inventor whereby he assure you he himself been consuming it. He's 74-year-old. He's look as young as 50 plus, right? And he's still very strong. He's still very energetic. And more importantly, he have been benefited to many people. And in lab tests, okay, SGS lab tests, okay, have been tested by many authorities. It's very, very natural. And just to share with everybody, we are now approaching to one of the university in medical university to do a what they call a test, whereby we sponsor them to do many different kind of tests for sport endurance, for blood sugar reduction, and so on and so forth. Well, I already shared this. Hydrogen water that produced my machine, their gas phase lasts only about 30 minutes, the max probably 1 hour. They can tell you very high ppm, but they are still gas, they vaporize in a short period of time. Our hydrogen can put inside the water and last for at least 3 days. If you even cover it properly, don't expose to any air attack from outside, it can last even for months. Because this is actually called the solid hydrogen. Okay. Like I said, the hydrogen that you see is actually gas-based. Ours is combination of minerals together with the hydrogen. Leg pain, can't walk, doctor say nerve stiffness. You know why and how can I recover? Your nerve stiffness is always because of your liver and your ligament are hardened. Focus on the liver. Okay, and of course you also have to check on your bone. Is your bone osteopenia? Osteopenia means actually is your bone now deficient in calcium? If it's deficient in calcium, you have to top up a lot of calcium to your bone for the bone marrow to produce the blood. Because the fundamental for your nerve system to work, for your cell to work, you need to have good quality of blood. Okay, nerve stiffness is very simple. Test our hydrogen, test our solid hydrogen. You test our calcium, it will help you to recover. And of course, the primary concern is actually you also have to check how intoxicated you are. Meaning to say, how much toxin you have inside your large intestine, in your liver, as well as in your kidney. Right? Okay, I've had one case, I have 2 clients, they are cancer patients. I asked them to do coffee enema. I asked them to take high dosage of H2. How many drops? 50 drops to 100 drops. But they also take probiotics. And earlier, they have this stick, the neck, whereby they can so stiff, she cannot turn. So until I asked her to go for higher dosage, of course, apply some ointment into your nerve system. Eventually, she just shared with me just now only, before our session start, he said, my neck is actually able to turn left and right. No issue at all. Oh, where do I get? I can send you the email, no problem. There's now a lot of publishing. Because they've been doing research, they've been followed through. I don't just come up from my mouth because I'm not the authority. I'm reading. That's why I'm letting you know there's an announcement. But there's a fact of life. Why this is happening? 1 out of 5 person all got liver fat. 1 out of 5 person. Now you look at Malaysia. Look at Malaysia. More than 80% of the people in Malaysia sorry, 85% of the people in Malaysia are considered to a certain degree is actually overweight, or even to the extent to obesity. The obesity is a major cause of blood sugar, right? And then we have the most dialysis center in the world. And in fact, there was an announcement, it was last year that I read, Chinese, these are referring to Chinese people, Chinese people 40-year-old and below, they are the what I call the heart attack. Heart attack is getting younger and younger. Okay, we rank number 2. Then come to chronic kidney disease, we rank number 4 in the world. Okay. Okay, any more questions? I've seen people when chanting, they doze off, indication of weak liver or health issue. No, you see, the question is chanting for how long? I don't know how chanting for how long. Chanting for half an hour and get dose off? Yeah, because weak liver, blood, actually blood, it all come back to blood. Like I say, our key is actually we have to know how healthy our blood is. You need to cleanse your blood. Always remember, blood is the one that transports nutrients to the cell. But the cell and the organs secrete waste, and blood also have to transport them back to the heart and then disseminated to what they call elimination system. It can be from the skin, it can be from the breathing, it can be from the urination, it can be from your liver to clear it, or even throw it all the way to your large intestine for pass motion and so forth. Okay, when a person gets dosed off easily, yes, there's a high likelihood that he or she having a weak liver. Okay, anyone have any more questions? Yes, anyone?
Can I ask?
Yes, please. Don't have to ask me whether you can ask or not. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
No,
is this considered natural because you are actually you believe in taking natural food for the body, right? But all this oxygen, hydrogen, calcium,
right?
Are they considered natural elements?
Okay, yes and no. Now you see one reason. Okay, even be frank to you, I teach about supplement, right? But I have to be very frank to you. We can't take any many natural food from the supplies. Why? Because tell me, can you find any organic food nowadays? Even there are a lot of people that I met, they say my food is organic food. Please understand, if you were to plant your crops only with organic fertilizer, doesn't mean that your vegetable is organic. Organic, there's a lot of criteria and element. Okay, there's a lot of criteria and element, and there's no way people can grow with organic. For example, my friends, which I taught him, not that I taught him, I guided him, I encouraged him to go for organic durian. Okay, and in fact, he really followed through everything, and took him many years to turn the what they call the durian farm to become organic. Even with the extent whereby using a lot of microbes to turn use as a fertilizer to apply onto the soil. Eventually, it's genuinely 100% organic, but that takes many years. No contamination, no surrounding built up by surrounding at least 30 to 40 kilometers away. That's called organic. Now, the second reason, even as much as I can, I will encourage people to take supplement for many reasons. So the major one is because of this. If 25 years ago, you take one piece of strawberry, today you take 1 kg of strawberry to have equal amount of the nutrition value from that one piece of strawberry. Same example, 25 years ago, if you were to pick one piece of sweet corn, today you take 18 pieces of sweet corn to have equal amount of the nutrition value from that one piece. Why? Because all our soil are depleted. You don't understand? Let's look into the farmer. 50 years ago, when a farmer were to plant any vegetation or any farming, any crops, after harvesting, there'll be two things that they do. Number one, all the excess of all useless crops, the leaf, the stem, and so forth, they'll get it dried up and then burn it. Why they burn it? Because when they burn it, they will turn into an alkali mineral, dissolve into the soil. Secondly, put the soil into resting for a period of 3 months to 6 months. Just like a lady who gave birth to a baby, I cannot ask you to go and work immediately. You'll become very lethargic. You don't have enough energy, and you're not recuperating. it take you about 3 months to 6 months to recuperate. So it's the same. We talk about the law of nature, the law of universe. Everything takes time for them to do recovery. But you look at soil, it's getting more expensive. The farmer can't afford to say, oh, I want to put my soil into idle. You cannot idolize the soil. You have to continue planting. Hey, the plant doesn't grow big. What can we do? You put in a lot of chemical compound, growth hormone, fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, heavy metal, probably some hormone that stimulate the growth and so forth. Okay, another example. One guy came to me. Okay, he called me up. SK, I found somebody who can plant durian, can have durian every month. So he shared with me he can have durian. Oh, okay, durian can be harvested once a year or twice the max a year. Especially when we talk about organic, people who can go more than that is basically they know there are some stimulant that put into the tree. So if a tree can grow for once a month, what do you think they're injecting, or what do you think they're feeding to the tree? Obviously, it's chemical. And of course, I share with him, if you want your tree to last for 100 years, then you have to follow the law of nature, understand the attribute of the durian. But if you attempt to actually, when you attempt to actually go inject or probably feed the durian to be able to produce the fruits every month, how long do you think the tree will last? It will never last long. Definitely not lasting long. It's the same like, okay, it's the same like, oh, I have challenges with erection. I keep on taking Viagra. I go and keep using Viagra to go entertain the ladies. How long do you think I can last? I will never last forever. If I want to last forever, I have to follow the rules. I have to understand how a body works, how the blood flow, and so forth. And as much as I can, yes, just how I say yes and no. If I given a choice, I would want to take all the food. I want to abstain myself from taking all this take this alternative, but not by choice. Why? Perhaps one simple reason. Look at Japanese. If given a choice, they can take all the water, the clean water from the mountain. Do you think we all would want to actually go and take a machine to go and alkalize it or neutralize it, the acidosis, and provide us the energetic water for us to consume? The answer is no. But unfortunately, we live in this urban city. All the surrounding area are severely contaminated. Now, just take tap water, for example. Tap water are filled with two major minerals. To be exact, it's actually one gas and one mineral. One is fluoride, one is chloride. That itself already kill you. I'll be very frank with you, it already kill you. Why? If you go and study about 10 years ago, there was a report done by British government. They was actually surprised how come there are so many cancer patients in British at that time. Then they discovered it because of chlorinated water. What does that mean? Most of the people in London, because it's actually very what they call, there's a lot of mist, right? There's a lot of it's actually very what they call not enough sun. So what they do is actually they always take shower, and they take hot shower. Then they discover that if a person were to take hot shower for 15 minutes, it's as good as you're drinking 8 chlorinated water. 8 chlorinated, that means 8 glasses of chlorinated water. It's like you are now filling yourself with toxin. Now, tap water again, a lot of residue, a lot of pathogen, viruses, okay? A lot of what they call heavy metal, a lot of what they call the soil, a lot of residue like the soil. You can find many unhealthy minerals or even particles inside the water. So it's not by choice that we need to have some technology to go and filter it. But like I say, as much as I can, I'm talking about natural stuff combined with technology to amplify the functionality of the product or even the efficacy of the product. So it's not by choice, right? Unless you possess a piece of land on your own. You want to turn the entire place to become an organic farm, yes, you have to take 7 years and you have to talk about eco-balance. I hope that answers your doubts, why I prefer to go with that. Okay, secondly, I have to put into consideration, especially now people that I met, right? Most of the people are running out of patience. They look for miracle. Just like you go for medicine, oh, I got headache, then I go for painkiller. They actually suppress my pain. Actually, they're not. They're just like numb your nerve system. It's like disconnect your brain pain system from the cause, right? And you find that, hey, doctor is good because it's helping me to actually suppress my pain. And I think I'm recovered, but you're not clearing your toxic inside. You're accumulating with more problem. So it becomes more severe. I'll be very frank to you, why I do what I do today is purely because at the age of 17, I had an accident. I knocked onto the tree. During the knocking onto the tree, right, I don't have a headrest to protect my head. So my neck tilted to the back, and I don't feel anything at that time. But with what they call worries, I visited doctors, I visited sensei, I visited chiropractor. They say you're fine, nothing happened to you. 30 days later, I feel the pain. I went to the doctor. It's a family doctor, and he just prescribed me what? Painkiller. Then it became more severe. I had to visit the doctor practically every 3 times per week. Every week, 3 times. He just prescribed me painkiller. He said, you're young, you're only 17, nothing happened to you. This is just for temporary. Go for painkiller. Until a stage, 3 to 6 months, between 3 to 6 months, I realized that why to keep on paying the same amount of money to my doctor? He's a family doctor, but I still don't feel comfortable. Eventually, I went to my best friend's father's pharmacy to buy 1,000 tablets. And when I start building my own businesses, IT company, I become a workaholic. I become a person who doesn't know how to take care of myself. My peak, every day I take about 16 tablets of a painkiller. And my severe pain, I take 32 tablets. That's why I collect before 30-year-old. And that's where I realized that, oh, actually, I entrusted into a wrong hand. I'm supposed to account for my own health, and I don't do enough research. That's where I start understanding how can I restore my health. With blessing, I read a book called Reverse Aging. It's about alkaline machine. Like I say, I read about this book, then I realized that, oh, I've been doing everything wrong. I have to start restoring myself if I can. Okay, with strong desire, it took me 9 months to look for alkaline machine, and I really got myself restored, and that's where I get to know about Simon. Simon shared with me more, and I really, really appreciate what he did to me. And I share with my family members. My mother is 78 years old. My father is 84-year-old, and they are still very healthy. You look at their blood sugar, even last few months, they check, they say, oh, blood sugar is 7.9, 7.5 and below. For their age, is considered very good, right? Even my mother-in-law used to have blood sugar at 15. I actually helped her to recover in 2 months, 3 months time. It was December and 3rd of February. It's about less than 3 months time. She's now dropping at 7.5 until today. I hope that answers your questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So fundamental to cleanse blood is to drink lots of water with hydrogen. Yes, H2 and improve acidosis to alkalinity. Yep, correct. H2 and calcium plus because they are 2 different functions. H2 is focusing hydrogen. Okay. Now, probably I want to clarify. You see, by right, if you are super healthy, when we define super healthy means if you look at all the function doctors and scientists, they say you're supposed to focus on your large intestine, your gut system. If your gut system are filled with balanced 100 billion bacteria inside your large intestine, your body automatically produces 10 liters to 12 liters of hydrogen. And this is gas space every day. So to retain, it's like supplying you surplus of hydrogen to go and kill all the free radical. That's what the body is supposed to automatically does. But ask yourself one very, very genuine question. Is your intestine function like normal? When I say function like normal, it's like your poo is actually very healthy, no smell. Okay. Then you actually always like golden yellow color and so forth. That's an indication whereby you have a very strong and healthy large intestine. But unfortunately, if you look at people's today's, even lately, last Saturday, I met with one kid, 7-year-old, have learning problem. So I asked her mom, how's the poo? Cannot poo. Always a challenge in pooling, in poo. Okay. So I say, obviously, large intestine not healthy. That's why cannot focus. Blood got contaminated. So this is one of the easier way for you to understand. If a person were to be healthy and not healthy, is always look at what's the smell of their poo, and do they poo every day? Okay, with ease or with difficulty. You see, a person that's supposed to sit on toilet bowl or even squatting will be the best. You're supposed to poo in less than 3 minutes. In 3 minutes time, you're supposed to done with the pool. But look at people have been sitting in the pool. Don't talk about playing with the handphone. Okay, even sitting here idle, waiting for the pool to come out will take as long as 30 minutes. That's just a suffer. That's not healthy. Okay. How about filter water with SKMagic? Yes, preferably go with filter water. If you really have one available, go for it. It's okay, but must be filtered. What is really, really alarming is that, okay, I have one patient Okay, stage 4 lung cancer, stage 4 in large intestine cancer. I've been educating. You don't have a filter machine, at least cook your water, boil your water. She refused to listen and just mix anything with the tap water. I said, no matter what you did, you actually like neutralizing the good stuff in it, because they have to neutralize, they have to balance up each other. And then this is not going to do good to your body. Eventually, her recovery is actually very, very slow. So it's good to have a filter water rather than you don't have anything. Okay. But I would prefer at least you have to filter the chlorine if you can. There are two things you must filter: the residue, the chlorine. Okay, a pre-filter is mandatory if you can, especially when you are staying on landed property. Fatty liver consists SKMagic or MCT oil, two different things. MCT is meant to stimulate, is to neutralize the oil, okay, the fat, and also stimulate the bowel release. H2 is different thing. H2 focusing on free radical. It doesn't focus on the liver. But if you have a good, what I call the drainage system, eventually the fat also be eliminated. That's why this year I'm promoting a lot about water fasting. UH2 for water fasting is actually doing a lot of miracle, able to actually neutralize a lot of, because you are pushing out the energy, neutralize the free radical. When the body have more energy, right, or the cell or the organ have more space for them to do the work, they'll start neutralizing all this fat. So you're asking me which one is better? It's actually different purpose. Same thing. A person were to say, I want to really cleanse my body, I will never ask you to take H2 alone. You have to go and take a liver detox, go and cleanse your liver. You have to go and take a coffee enema to go and cleanse your large intestine. You have to go and take a kidney detox to go and cleanse your kidney. Very, very target specific. Okay, it depends on how much time you have and how much energy, how much time and how much effort you want to put in. That's the key. How much you want MCT you want to take, and what's the best time to take at night? Before 10 o'clock. And how much you take at your view, because you have to test with 1 teaspoon first. Now, please understand this. MCT have many categories. When you talk about MCT 60 is VCO, virgin coconut oil. When you talk about MCT 100 is an extracted kind of oil, and they don't have other element. They are focusing on very high potency oil. If you're taking MCT 100, start with 1 teaspoon. If you're taking VCO, you can start with 2 tablespoons, soup spoon, Chinese soup spoon, 2 tablespoons to begin with. It all depends on individual, okay? Because you have different reaction accordingly. No, if you're having a filtered water that's moderate, right? You don't have to go and boil the water. Never boil the water if you can. Never boil the water, because boiled water is dead water. Go and boil the water and go and rear a fish inside. Throw a goldfish inside, see whether they can live or not. If they can live, then your water is superior. But frankly, it doesn't. Any boiled water has no ability, has no life, what they call the life energy to be able to rear a fish. So I never encourage people to drink boiled water unless given no choice. You only use boiled water upon when you want to go and boil make your coffee or even make your tea. Okay, did I miss anything? If I were to, please let me know. Yeah, most welcome. Anyone? Any questions? This is a time for you to ask. Okay, we have 4 minutes to go. Please, you have some more time to ask any doubts. Please don't hesitate to ask. This is a time for you to learn. Why insomnia? How to make people sleep easily? Okay, insomnia, there are many reasons. Primarily because of hormone. Now, imagine this. A lot of people, when they're suffering from sleep, there are a few reasons. Number one, 9 o'clock, stop thinking. Are you thinking after 9? Most of the people I knew, right? They say, I have to think, but otherwise I cannot sleep. That's the reason why you can't sleep. Because after 8 o'clock, you're supposed to mellow down yourself, slow down, stop thinking. That's actually rule number 1. Number 2, have you been exposed to sunlight? Why sunlight? Because of vitamin D. Vitamin D will gel better quality of the bone, produces quality of blood. A lot of people that were suffering from insomnia is due because their bone not able to produce good quality of blood. You might be deficient in blood, or you have too much of toxin inside your blood. Okay. Third reason, when you leach out too much of calcium, you actually cause a lot of thyroid problem. Thyroid is actually what they call this hormone, okay, hormone that stimulating the release of the calcium, and this is one of the major reasons why you couldn't sleep well. Okay, if you want to make it, you want to sleep easily, take very high dosage of calcium, even take a lot of minerals like zinc. Are you deficient in zinc? Do you have enough B3, B complex, B12? These are the major reasons a lot of people don't have enough nutrients like vitamin E. These are very important for you to cultivate better quality of sleep. And of course, finally, one very important reason, your bone posture. Is your posture aligned? Sometimes when your posture is tilted, it's actually affecting your blood flow, and that's where you're affecting your what they call the sleeping quality as well. And one reminder, never open light during your sleep. The only light allowed to be open is actually switch on. It's actually red light only, no other lights. Never open the light for you to get infected, because the brain only, if your brain want to release melatonin at 3 o'clock morning, you need to go into a dark room. The only exception whereby light allowed to be switched on is only red light. That's why I look at dark room. For last time people use a film to make the pictures, the photos, they go into dark room, which they mean actually is a red room, red light room. Yes, you can take MCT before bed, no problem, because you're stimulating the bowel release. Okay, you see the challenges, a lot of people couldn't sleep well, also because of the liver cannot secrete the bowel. The bowel juice up to 1.5 liter. If you can take some MCT, you're stimulating the bowel release. Yes. From TCM point of view, we should drink warm water to improve. Yes, of course. Warm water is important. Why? Because your whole body operating at 37 Celsius. There are now so many people are dehydrated. One reason, take a lot of cold drink. When you take more cold drink, your temperature go down to 11 Celsius. For them to recover, take 30 minutes. Eventually, you're going to have heart problem, because our body operate at 37 Celsius. Your food can only be digested at 37 Celsius. Please note, take note of that. That's why you ask me, I'll encourage people who are weak, people who are sick, drink more hot water. Even when you feel discomfort, drink more hot water. You need to increase your blood circulation. Like it or not, if you were to do live blood analysis, you start to realize that a lot of people's blood are very clogged together. Clogged means that they are not moving. When you increase the heat, they'll move. Now, example, I will use a circuit about car racing. If I were to drive a sport car at an optimal speed, it actually means that my engine is running at an optimal speed with high temperature. But if I had to take a bucket of water, cold water, and pour onto the engine, what do you think will happen to the engine? The engine will break, because they cannot tahan. If they cannot tolerate the cold temperature, they need to be heated up all the time. Okay, I hope you understand that. Huh? Yeah, you try AA+, how much? Try 1 bottle a week. Try for 6 months and see what happens. You see, you have to check your body. I don't know what you're deficient in. You're deficient in certain things, then you have to neutralize it. Okay, but importantly, please check where the bone quality and your blood quality, and one more, your thyroid. Can I take oat before 12? I would suggest that you take anything that is easily digestible. Okay, what I mean by digestible? Take banana, take fruits, take vegetable. If you take oat in a way, yes, cannot. Why? Because that's a tendency when we use oat, right? We eat with the milk, or even we eat with this what they call sugary stuff, no, the milk, condensed milk, and so forth, right? You have to start realizing. Please go and check it out. When you can't sleep because of hunger, right? You have to check whether you are deficient in nutrients. Yeah, of course, warm water you can have boil, but you can take 45 Celsius. You have to boil it. You're not boiling at optimal level, right? That's why they're instant boiler. I'm using instant boiler. Instant boiler means actually I pour my bottle at the container. When I press a button, in 3 seconds, it produces me 80 Celsius water. That is hot water, not boiled water. Boiled water have to be boiled at boiling point, 100 Celsius. The second choice, there are even machines that we are recommending, like we are introducing right now, a machine, an alkaline machine, they're able to produce 45 Celsius water. Yeah, 60 fine. But the only challenge is actually like this. You have to make sure your boiled water is really properly filtered, because I'm sure you experience, if I use a tap water and boil at 60 Celsius, you will always smell the chlorine. You have to be filtered properly, please. The water must be properly filtered before you boil the water. if you directly take a tap water and go and boil the water at 60 Celsius, you are now having a danger whereby you are still consuming the chlorine inside the water, even fluoride, because they're not being boiled at the optimal level. No, 60 boiling water at 100% will be dead water. Lower than 100 is not. 80%, 80 Celsius is still not. 60 is not. But the challenge is that, like I said, don't use tap water. No tap water, please. Okay. Any more last questions? Otherwise, I would like to call you a night because it's approaching to 10. It's already 10, I presume. Yeah, 10:03. Any more? Yes, no? Everyone okay? If you're okay, can you type me 666? Is everybody okay with the sharing? If you're okay, type 666. Really thank you for your feedback. Right? If there's no further question, really appreciate this round that you come for this session. And soon I'll be sharing some different sharing about education, about brain development. So I'll also be sharing some of the, like as requested by Florence. Florence wanted me to share some of the thought I give onto the YouTube pertaining to like prodigy by design, how to deliver a smarter kid and healthy and smarter kid. Then also about the brain development, brain compatibility for parenting and so forth. So I will do all the sharing, and hopefully there will be one live session that I can share with all of you. Okay. If there's no further question, thank you very much for today's session, and hope you have a clarity about what solid hydrogen is all about. If you do have doubts, please don't hesitate to approach to your introducer to get more information if need to. Otherwise, we will call you a night. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good rest. Good night.
Good night, 谢老师，谢谢你。
Good night.